All right, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this video, copy video URL, and then, of course, put it over here on the right-hand side, paste. This woman has a YouTube channel called Roma Army Men's Rights. This is a woman who speaks out for men's rights. The link that I just sent to you it's called Toxic versus Traumatized, and she goes through a list of how to tell if a woman is toxic or traumatized. Same thing goes for a man. If you do the gender reversal, the same is true, with the exception of the parts where we are taught differently. That's right, men and women are taught differently here in the United States. This woman literally speaks about all of the things that I have had to go through. Things that I have personally had to go through on many occasions. She speaks out about a lot. It says that she's got 590,000 subscribers. See, this is why we need women to speak up for us. How many men speak up for women's rights? A lot. I'm one of them. But I fight for equality. That means that I should have the same rights that she does. Instead, what we've got is special rights and supposed women's equality groups who are entirely sexist and hateful. This woman attempted suicide over the threats and harassment that she gets well, for speaking out for men's rights, for being a voice for men, because men are not heard. We have to have a woman speak for us. Anna Moomin. When I post up stuff about autism, I use Anna Moomin and the things that she speaks about to try to educate people on autism, because they're not going to listen to me. I have a penis. I am not a pretty white girl. It's horrible. Now, there's a lot of this stuff, a lot of it. Now, my friends, they show how right this woman is. My friends have done all of the things that she speaks out about, all of the hypocrisy. I have had to deal with it firsthand. I know what it's like to have people harass me to the point that I attempt suicide. That's right, folks. I did attempt suicide over the shit that people were doing to me. But see, here's the thing. This lady had to deal with people just on the internet. I have to deal with people in real life doing these horrible things. But guess what? The same things that were done to me, a lot of these things were done to her. How horrible is that? I'm going to try to find her video. Let's see. Is this it? Well, actually, let's look specifically up about her suicide or her attempted suicide. Let's see. SUICIDE. It says, my suicide attempt survival story. What really happened? There's actually two videos here. This one, copy link address. This is one that she made about a year ago, right after it happened. Then this one is a bit longer. It's 24 minutes long. It explains it too. How horrible people are to her for speaking up for men's rights, threatening her family, calling in crimes that did not happen. Stuff that I've gone through. She's got a lot more people that want to pay attention. She's got a lot more subscribers. I have a little over 1,000 subscribers. She has over 500,000 subscribers. She has a moderator to go through her channel. The reason that that moderator goes through the channel is so that she doesn't have a mental breakdown just from trying to speak up, just from the cruelty. She has someone else do it for her because it is traumatic for her. It's just as traumatic for me, but I don't have a moderator to censor those things for me. My friends, when she speaks about how men are treated, my own friends treated me that way. People who claimed to love me, people who claimed to care about me, who did absolutely nothing because I have a penis and penises don't matter. If there's a penis attached to it, it's not a human being. It's an it, it's a that. Now we got the pressures of marriage that a lot of people try to shove down our throats too. That's just stupid. Marriage is an archaic form of slavery. If you want to have sex, have sex. If you don't want to have sex, don't have sex. If you want to be in a relationship, be in a relationship. If somebody will have you. If you're not quite the perfect man, well, maybe you should just dip out of the dating game because it is a game. You got decent guys and you got good looking guys, and you rarely find guys who are both. Now, you find lots of guys who are good looking and they're able to hold it together well enough to fool you because you're stupid. You are charmed by a pretty face. The same thing you complain about men doing. It's okay for you, but it's not okay for men. You want to sell this narrative that men cannot be victims, especially not white issue. Whether or not you get I can't even call it an honest day in court because whether or not you get a quote unquote honest day in court depends on how much money you got and how good looking you are. If you're a good looking woman, the cops are not going to investigate the crimes that you committed. They're not going to put much effort into it. They're more likely to put a bunch of effort into locking up the man that you victimized. It's horrible. We can't continue to live like this. This is horrible. If you are raped by a man, that's not all men who raped you. You do not get to blame all men for raping you. If Todd raped you, go after Todd. Expose the fuck out of Todd. I exposed the fuck out of my predators. I gave their names. I'm tired of this sexism. I'm tired of the abuse. And this woman is tired of the abuse too. People accused her of all sorts of heinous things that she didn't do. It's not okay. Let's see. This person, oh, your name is racist. It says Sean, hi, Peter North here, old adult film star, great stream. Thanks, Peter North. Hey, Peter, um, I don't like your name because it's racist, but well, thank you for your support. I'll probably look up your name. Matter of fact, I'm going to look it up now. Peter North. It says actor. Alden Joseph Brown, born May 11th, 1957, known professionally as Peter North, is a Canadian retired pornographic actor, director, and producer. Interesting. Um, Peter North, I've had sex twice my whole life. Not that you care. The woman that I lost my virginity to, her name was Brianna Hernandez Cordona, and I was 33 or 34 at the time. The second woman that I had sex with, her name was Rihanna Ingersoll. Rihanna is dead now. I had sex with her about probably 2.5 years ago, and she died about a year and a half ago. Now, I don't agree with, I'm going to spell this name out, Honke. You know the rest of it. You know the word. You know that it's derogatory. Um, Someone named Ruben Hake typed LOLTWISE. Ruben, I don't know what that means, so if you could spell it out for me, forgive me for my ignorance. Um, the sexism this lady speaks out about, she's not the only one that speaks out, but she gets heard. She definitely gets heard. There's a guy on here that says strong, successful male. This guy tells stories about how men are treated as well. His video here got 79,000 views. And Miss Roma, on the one about her recent suicide attempt, 425,000 views. Let's see, here's another one where she has 94,000 views, 111,000 views, 247,000 views, 942,000 views. That's almost a million views. 388,000 views, 264,000 views, 749,000 views, 615,000 views, 505,000 views, 478,000 views, 217,000 views, 796,000 views, 1.2 million views, 617,000 views. You know, most of her videos are a lot more views than he got. A lot more views. What's the difference between what he's saying and what she's saying? She's a female. That's the difference. She's female, so people are more likely to listen to her. She is a pretty white girl. And that's not saying that she's a bad person. That's pointing out a fact. It is a fact. She is pretty. She is white. She is a female. She was also bullied quite a bit for speaking up for men's rights. She takes a lot of the same abuse that I've had to take. People go out of their way to try to destroy her entire life, calling her in for crimes that were never committed. Her predators are heard. How sad is that? She is targeted primarily by women for speaking up for men's rights. How sexist is that? How horrible is that? That there are so many women who hate men so much that they will threaten to kill a woman who is speaking up for men's rights. They are threatening to harm this woman, accusing her of child abuse, among other things, because she fights for men's rights. It's kind of like here in Chapel, Nebraska, where I fight for black people's rights and I get called N-word lover. Lovely, isn't it? It's not lovely. It's not good. It's not okay, and it's not right. Anna Moomin got thousands and thousands and thousands of views as well. She spoke up for the autistic folks. She's not the only one either. Of the 7 people who spoke the best about autism, well, it was about equal. There's men and women who are autistic who speak out, and they all have the same issues. This isn't an issue that just Sean Schwartz is having. This isn't an issue that just Anna Moomin is having. Anna Moomin has had to deal with a lot of the same hatred that myself and Miss Roma Army have had to deal with. Now, the sexism comes from ignoring male victims or believing that a man should be able to take care of it himself, where a woman can't, where a woman has to ask for help and actually gets help. A man asks for help and he is blown off. He's told how to think and how to feel and told to man up. There is no real help for male victims unless people speak out. Unless they speak out the way that people spoke up about the Black Lives Matter situation. Now, a lot of us were reeled in by Black Lives Matter saying, oh, well, we're trying to make it better for everyone. No, you're not doing shit for the homeless. Matter of fact, you're making it worse. I was told that I should shut up about me being victimized by the police because I'm white. I was victimized by the police more than any of these people who are bitching. But I'm told that I need to shut up and go to the back of the bus because I'm white. I also get told I got to shut up and go to the back of the bus because I'm male. Male victims of domestic assault just need to shut up. That's America's opinion. It's not my opinion. How would you like it if your girlfriend was raped, or your sister was raped, or your mother was raped, and the police would not investigate it? How would you feel about that? How would you feel if they were raped and then they were victimized for trying to turn in their rapist? See, that's the thing that we teach men that they have to do. Men are always supposed to look at a woman's point of view. Meanwhile, girls are taught that a man doesn't matter. His emotions don't matter. What matters is his looks and his money. I don't know how many women I have known in my lifetime who have been with a decent guy, but their mother wanted to hook them up with a good looking guy because they'll have cute babies. Well, these are women who know how the world works. A good looking child from good looking parents who turns into a good looking adult is going to have far more opportunities than somebody who's dog fucking ugly, no matter how good they are. My friends looked the other way because I have a penis. The police victimized me because I have a penis. Natalie Bollinger victimized me because she knew she would get away with it. What she did not expect was for me to speak out. But then again, it was just a pretty white lie that she told, isn't it? She told that pretty white lie because she didn't want to get in trouble. But she didn't stop for one moment to think about the abuse that I would have to go through over that. When people realized I didn't kill Natalie, they went back to calling me a child molester and a rapist. Guess what? Me and Natalie never even kissed. Sex was not a part of our friendship. And that's the relationship that we had. And yes, I was aware that she wanted more than just a friendship. On more than one occasion, I thought that I had talked her out of it. But then it would resurface again and again. It resurfaced while I was in Virginia. Natalie wanted more than I was willing to give, first of all. And second of all, her and her twin sister were fighting over a boy. I'm not that good looking. I have no teeth. I'm bald. I've got a big ass beard. I am not a good looking feller. I am not 6'4". I'm not 280 pounds of solid muscle. I don't have millions of dollars in my bank account. Does that mean that I'm not a human being? Does that mean that it's okay for drug addicts to destroy my life because they don't want to get a reprimand? Natalie Bollinger lied and it destroyed my life. But it wasn't just Natalie Bollinger. It was my supposed friends not listening to what the fuck I was saying because I have a penis. It was my friends doing that same sexist bullshit of I just need to man up and men can't be victimized and men just need to shut up and get to the back of the goddamn bus. And it's not okay. This one right here, it says Roma Army Podcast Episode 2, False Allegations. Copy link address. We'll post this one up for you too. Paste. I'm sorry if I don't see your comments immediately. I'm looking it up. I've got multiple screens open at a time. Ruben Hake typed twice. Men's rights goes against human nature. No, it doesn't. Human nature is completely different from what we are taught. When we teach a child, when we teach a little girl that that boy hit her on the playground because he likes her, that's taught. You have taught her that abuse means the guy likes her. So then she's going to carry that through most of her life. Well, he's not abusing me. He must not love me. That is insanity. In reality, that little boy hit that little girl because he's an asshole. Nobody has put him in check. And you didn't put him in check. You put that little girl in check for being abused. That is not okay. There's a difference between a learned behavior and human nature. A big difference. Human rights, that's human nature. Human nature is to be hypocrites, to have one set of rules for you and a different set for everyone else. People are dead because I was not heard. It's not just the courts that didn't hear me and refused to hear me. It's not just the police who wouldn't hear me and refused to hear me. It wasn't just the media. It was people who claimed to love me. People who promised to help me if I jumped through their hoops, if I did their stupid human tricks. Now, there's a conversation between me and my autism advocate here on this YouTube, and it's pretty recent. You get to realize that the things that I've been saying are true. But it doesn't matter now, does it? My predators were able to do those dirty tricks that I told you they were going to pull. I told you the loopholes that they use to get away with victimizing innocent people. I told you all of these loopholes. And then when they did them to me over and over and over again, my supposed friends pretended like I must deserve it. Or they pretended like if I would just pretend it didn't happen, that it would magically go away. Is your dad going to stop raping you if you pretend that he's not raping you? No, he's not. You were sending him the same signal that you're sending that little boy who hit that little girl. There are no consequences for him, so it must be okay. That little boy didn't have any consequences for hitting that little girl. So he's going to go hit another little girl. How many little girls is he going to hit before somebody checks his ass? How many times is your dad going to rape your sister? Because you, what do you call it? Let it go? No, you're still being raped. You're still in the household. How do you let it go? Then there's all these people who want to say, well, why don't you just move? Have you tried moving? I've moved over 40 times since Natalie was killed. Over 40 times. I don't make this channel or make these videos for your entertainment. I make these videos because I am screaming out for help, and I'm not getting it because I have a penis and because I am white. Meanwhile, BLM pulls the wool over our eyes saying that if we fight for BLM, we're fighting for all of our rights. No, we're not. Because we're not changing the laws that allow these police to victimize people, to brutalize people, and not just black people. Those other victims that you are telling need to go back to the back of the bus because they're not black. How is that right? when you're telling male victims of sexual assault, when you are treating a male victim of sexual assault like a predator because they are speaking out about their abuse. How horrible of a human being do you have to be to do that? Natalie Bollinger gave up her body to pay her dad's debts. Her dad raped her repeatedly, had her selling heroin and meth at the library in Boulder, Colorado to homeless people at 13 years of age. Meanwhile, there's a lot of women out there in really screwed up situations saying they need jobs. They need jobs. They're able to work. They're willing to work. But you offer them a job and they're not actually taking it. If you offer them money straight up, they'll take it. But if you ask them to do anything, they're not going to. One example is a woman I know who's originally from Russia. She didn't even try. She could earn up to $1,500 a month for at least 2 months. $1,500 a month. That is how bad I need help. I have literally spent tens of thousands of dollars to try to get the help that I need, only to be stuck with alcoholics and lazy women. Now, don't get me wrong, there are lazy men involved in this. But those lazy men didn't offer to help me and then dump me off when they realized it was going to be actual work. Women did. Women made the most promises. Now, let me tell you about the people that I've had to deal with that were supposedly friends of mine. Teresa Orn, drunk, alcoholic. That did not go well. Shannon Alvarado, alcoholic. That did not go well. Brett Roloff, meth addict. That did not go well. Kayla Trujillo, drug dealer. That did not go well. Todd Case, drug dealer and drug addict. That did not go well. But then there's people who are sober. They could have helped. Laura Nelson could have taken me in. She really could have. Brenda Dickinson could have taken me in too, but Brenda Dickinson fucked up on drugs. Now, they're not street drugs. They're pain drugs because she has rheumatoid arthritis. But it does the same things to her head. Those drugs are stage 4 drugs. These are drugs that they give to people who have cancer and they're going to die of an extremely painful cancer. And this woman's rheumatoid arthritis is bad enough that she's on those drugs. And those drugs are horrible. Trying to talk to Brenda Dickinson is about like trying to talk to a meth addict. Except Brenda doesn't do meth. Now, part of the problem with being disabled is that you get treated like a drug addict. If you got Tourette syndrome, you're going to get treated like a drug addict. If you're autistic, you're going to get treated like a drug addict. If cops think that you're homeless, they got no problems with fucking putting a cap in your ass. Natalie Bollinger and her friends and family were the predators, but I have a penis, so I'm the one who takes the punishment for it to this very day. Police have done everything that they can to prevent the truth from coming forward. And the only thing that would have helped is one of these people like Brandon Ratner, who knows that I'm not schizophrenic, to actually come forward and speak out the way that Gabby Petito's family spoke out, the way Elijah McClain's family spoke out, and Demetrius Shankling's family spoke out. Oh, yeah, I don't have a family. I have relatives. Big difference. My mom is a horrible excuse for a human being. I know that that's not what this video is about, but my mom has done some pretty horrible things in her lifetime, mostly to her own children. My mom used to be the most anti-gun person I knew. Now she carries a gun. You know what? With all of the people who threatened to kill my family, I think she should carry a gun. If Ted Bollinger or any of his cronies try to fuck with my mom, she'll kill them. There's a big difference between my mom and I, though. I don't think killing people is okay. Self-defense is okay, however. If those people come after my mom and she kills them, it will be self-defense. Now, I've spoken to some other relatives of mine who have told me a little bit of things about my mom that, well, although I didn't really want to hear them, I needed to. See, I'm not the only one in my family that my mom victimized. My mom had 4 kids, and all 4 of my mother's kids have been incarcerated for either crimes that did not happen or crimes that she committed. I hurt every day. I have emotional pain, but I'm not allowed to because I have a penis. It's not okay. Those of you who claim to be my friends, did you fight for my rights the same way you would have for a pretty girl? Of course you didn't. Meanwhile, pretty girls have access to resources that I never will, like people who are willing to speak up. Now, the things that I asked these people to tell the truth about, to speak up when it made a difference, I had to record them nearly a year later because they still had not come forward. They still had not told the truth. They still had not kept their word. So I showed that. I showed the truth. I recorded my conversations with these supposed friends of mine. Since I recorded it, I can prove it. These are their voices. You can hear what Miss Peaches sounds like because it is her voice that is recorded. You can hear what Mandy Hughes sounds like because her voice was recorded. You can hear Alyssa Rainwater because her voice was recorded. Then again, they're able to keep that evidence out of court by calling me mentally ill and pretending that it doesn't exist. Obviously, it does exist. Obviously, if it is on my YouTube channel, it actually exists. It's actually on my YouTube channel. It can be looked up. It can be found. It can be listened to. And it can be shown in fucking court. Happy Christmas.